According to Keir Starmer, the current British Prime Minister, yes, the Right Honourable Sir Keir Starmer, well, according to now, if you are a serving British police officer and there's anything untoward in your background that's discovered, you'll be instantly dismissed, removed from the force. That's it, kaput. Apparently this is the hardline stance that they're taking. However, with everything, with policies that ever, Keir Starmer and the rest of the government do, now there's a huge backlash. As ever, let me explain. Morning, how are you? Nice to see you today. Sorry, I'm giggling because the thing is, it's farcical, Sorry, we'll have a wave. Nice to see you. Thank you so much for your time. It is farcical because these things truly, when you look at the state of the British police force now, I remember when I left school, and I'm sure it was like that for a lot of people, there was a requirement height, a requirement fitness, and, even if you had all the qualifications, a lot of it was down to your, aptitude, the way you dealt with people, public persona, etc. I've seen people now, literally, and it's no fault of their own, but police officers so tiny and just so ill-equipped, weighed down with all the equipment that they have to wear now, literally on a daily basis. And you think, truly, in a crisis, what honestly could you do? Also, when you look at it on a bigger picture, you see more and more false eyelashes, hair extensions, full palettes of makeup on the women, and you think, truly, is this the look? It's not a fashion show. You're there to, uphold law and order. But of course, this is the world that we now live in alongside the current British Prime Minister and his deputy, Angela Rayner. Now, what I find fascinating also, there's a brand new book come out by Lord Ashcroft, I think he is, yes. And he's written a book all about Sir Keir Starmer. Now, I'm not being unkind, but truly, who would buy that? Apart from the inner circle in the bubble in Westminster, as they call it. I just don't know who would think this would be a seller. Once it's picked apart from the newspapers, there's nothing, political books do not sell, let me tell you. I've worked on many, I've interviewed many, as you can imagine, and they're only interesting to the people who were in the cabinet or in the government at that time, and a few people as a sort of pictorial plot of history. Other than that, really? But back to this particular bombshell. You see, the problem is now the British police force, particularly the Met Police over here in the United Kingdom, are hitting back. And this is because they feel it's a sort of tit-for-tat situation. Yes, many people do slip through the net in the recruitment process for the British police force. That really happens in every level of job, let's be honest. It doesn't matter whether you're working in retail, hotel, tech, whatever. It's just the way that it works nowadays. What's fascinating here, though, is they're basically saying, well, okay, but that should apply also to people in the positions of power, particularly if you're in government. Now, when you think about it, just take a moment for this. There you have two-tier Keir, lots of free clothes given to him by his chum, Lord Ali. Then, of course, you've got the business secretary, Jonathan Reynolds, openly lied in Parliament not just once, but on numerous occasions about him being a solicitor. He's still in a position, he's openly lied. And then, of course, you've got Rachel Reeves, the very first female Chancellor of the Exchequer, claiming, of course, that she's an economist, also ripped apart, and clearly she's doctored her CV, whichever way you want to present it. There are numerous more situations and, of course, instances in this, and this is where this will fall apart. It's a headline that will never be taken seriously or indeed pushed through, because the police will kick back and simply reiterate that point out in the public domain. We've already seen the fact that the police force are trying to recruit from ethnic minorities and different backgrounds, basically saying non-whites need not apply. When they're allowed to do that and the government says nothing, what chance has Sir Keir Starmer pushing through a rather weak, vapid and, as ever, ineffectual headline like this? Anybody else agree? Neil Sean in the very heart of London.